Welcome to Lake Master Pros. We are going to cover stocking largemouth bass in your pond or lake. Largemouth bass can be great for most pond or lakes. 100 per surface acre maximum is recommended. Largemouth are capable of spawning at 1, but most will spawn at age 2. Largemouth will spawn 5,000 to 12,000 eggs per nest. Native bluegill is very important in the stocking of largemouth bass. It takes up to 5 pounds of bluegill to give you 1 pound of largemouth bass. In the Midwest and northern states, that 5-to-1 ratio is recommended. As you head to the southern states, because of the longer growing season, you should increase the ratio up to 10-to-1. This will help ensure a healthy food cycle and continual growth. If you want great fishing year in and year out, this is one management technique that needs to be followed. Stocking less largemouth per acre is okay. Keep in mind that 5 bluegill to 1 ratio will keep that pond healthy and thriving. Largemouth bass, average lifespan is between 10 to 15 years, if they are healthy. Copper nose and native bluegill are vital components for a healthy pond or lake. They provide food for largemouth and other predators. Bluegill can reproduce up to 3 to 4 times a year and can release up to 80,000 eggs per season. They can spawn their first year of life. As a bluegill ages, the female will produce more eggs. For example, a 4-year-old female can produce 20,000 eggs. Bluegill spawn in 1 to 5 feet of water, and the male sweeps away debris, creating 2 to 6 inch circular holes, 4 to 24 inches wide. Sand and/or gravel is their preferred choice of nesting sites. They are not a hybrid, so they reproduce, and when stocked properly, will give your largemouth an abundance of food, year in and year out. Hybrid bluegill are fun to catch, but should be treated as a sportsfish, and not a forage fish, for your largemouth bass. Bluegill provide a solid food source. They are consistent, reproduce regularly, and can thrive even in tough conditions. They withstand heat and cold better than most alternative food sources, like shad and tilapia. Copper nose and native bluegill can feed on commercial feed. They can grow up to a quarter pound per growing season. Average lifespan is 5 to 8 years, but they can live up to 11 years. Stocking recommendations for red ear bream are usually 200 per surface acre of water. Red ear bream are known by other names: government bream, shell cracker, and stumpknocker, just to name a few. Red ear bream is not only stocked for its sporting quality, it is stocked to help control worms and parasites. They earned the name shellcracker because they can break down the shells of fresh water clams and forage on them. This eliminates the host of parasites, which reduces the chance of parasites attaching themselves to a new host, which is normally other fish in the pond. Red ear is not a hybrid fish, so they reproduce normally. They can commercially feed and can grow at a rate of quarter pound per growing season. Very few shellcracker will live past 6 seasons. Fathead minnows are a great management tool to get your new pond or lake up and running. Fathead minnows can reproduce 3 to 4 times in a season. They roughly have a 14-month lifespan. Fathead minnows can be stocked at 10 pounds per surface acre of water. They can help complete a food chain for your largemouth bass and bluegill. Another reason fathead minnows are a great forage base is they stay small. They will not get any larger than the length of your finger and never turn into a predatory fish. In a new lake, minnows will help complete a food cycle. As the lake ages, minnows will play less of a role, and pond and lake owners should shift their attention to managing their bluegill population. So let's recap. Stocking rates, with no existing fish population. 100 largemouth bass per surface acre in northern states, and Midwest, 500 bluegill per surface acre. In the southern states, bump it up to 1,000 bluegill per surface acre. 200 red ear bream per surface acre, 10 pounds of fathead minnows per surface acre of water. If you have a pond that is only half an acre, just cut the numbers above in half. Keeping your ratios is the most important aspect of stocking. It's always a safe bet to check with your state's recommended stocking rates and always stick with the native bluegill for your area. Thank you for watching this segment on stocking your pond or lake with largemouth bass with no existing fish population. Happy fishing!